it's going to be absolutely delicious. To add a little flavor to this lamb, what I'm going to use is anchovies. Beautiful, salty little delicious anchovies, rosemary and some garlic. You throw it all into the mini food processor. I take a little red wine vinegar. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you it's pretty. I'm not even going to tell you it smells good. But this will add incredible flavor to that beautiful lamb. So, first and foremost, we're going to season these cuts of lamb up, a little bit of salt, and then into a nice hot pan goes a big old piece of lamb. You want to give it a good aggressive sear, okay? And then turn that shoulder over. Oh yeah, that is what you want to see. You can see how I'm getting that beautiful golden sear all over the lamb. The reason I want that aggressive char on the outside of the lamb is to give it a bit of a crust and to lock all the moisture inside, but also develop a really rich sweetness, and that's going to be so delicious. Okay, now I'm going to remove this from the pan, put my neck in and caramelize that everywhere. Okay, once you have great color on all pieces of the meat, you remove them. Oh yeah, look at that. But here's the cool part. The fat we're going to reuse, so I'll pull that fat off and we'll keep that for just a little later. Okay, next, you put your pan back on the heat. All that residual flavor that's in there, we're going to deglaze it with a little bit of white wine. So you crank the heat back up on your pan, add the white wine, you bring the wine up to a rapid boil, you let it reduce by just a little bit to concentrate the flavor of the wine, and then you add in some stock. Now, you can use a chicken stock, you could use a beef broth, it really doesn't matter. But you want to reduce it down just a little bit before you put the lamb back in. Next, I take my anchovy puree and spoon it all over your lamb. Pick it up, pop it back in the pot. So once it's simmering away, it's time to go in the oven. I've preset it 300 degrees and it's going to take about 2.5 to 3 hours. While that happens, let's roast some potatoes. What I'm going to do is roast them in a little lamb fat. Let me tell you something. At our restaurant, Gwen, we serve duck fat potatoes. We cannot take them off the menu. Everybody that orders them loves them. So it's the little things. Lamb fat has a really delicious flavor. It literally is a match made in heaven. Okay, you want crispy potatoes? There's a couple of rules. Rule number one, if I cut my potato straight across like that, you'll see I don't get a lot of surface area here. But if I cut it lengthways like that on a bit of an angle, you'll see the difference. Small side, big side, right? Because now you're going to get a beautiful big golden crispy piece here. So give yourself a nice big surface area. That's rule one. Rule two, don't overpopulate your pan. You really need to space these potatoes out so they don't steam, all right? So that's rule number two. Like, to me, that is enough. So I'm using 50% extra virgin olive oil, 50% of that lamb fat, hot oven. You want it at like 400, maybe even up to 450 to begin. And like I said, space those babies out. Don't season it until the end. Okay, in they go. I think that was 3 rules, but you know what I mean. I have crispy potatoes in the oven. I have lamb billowing out some ridiculously good smells from over there. I'm ready for dinner. Let's check this out. I told you, you follow those rules. You can see how they've shrunk up just a little. Right, let me drop those here for you. But let me turn them. Oh. Now you understand what I was talking about. You've got to cut them with a nice, big, beautiful surface area so you give it maximum opportunity to get crispy. Looks pretty good, right? A little bit of sea salt. It doesn't get any crispier than that, you guys. Fluffy on the inside, perfectly crisp on the outside. All right, let's get the lamb. Oh yeah. Here's the best thing. You've got 2 totally different cuts of meat that are both going to behave really differently, but watch this. I can pick up my bear claws, get in here. then that lamb neck. Let me just show you how succulent and tender it can be. The thing I love about this is once, as a chef, I would have wanted to like make it all look fancy and pretty. I would have wanted to put a green garnish on the top, but now I look at it and I'm like, it's just beautiful, just the way it is. Serve with some crispy roast potatoes. Finish with just a tiny bit of salt. To me, that's what amazing Roman cooking is all about. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil over the top. And we are done. And thanks for watching. Now, I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you want more, because I've got plenty to give you. All you have to do is subscribe.